Have you ever thought that something as simple as going to the toilet could bring danger into your life? Most people ignore the hidden risks of certain hours during the night. But Islamic teachings and centuries of wisdom tell a very different story. Tonight, we reveal the warning that could completely change your daily routine. Scholars and the Quran have shared secrets that many overlook, and the consequences are real. Across the world, people are waking up in the middle of the night to nature's call, and shocking things are happening. In Malaysia, a man woke up at 3 a.m. and just steps away from the bathroom. He slipped and narrowly avoided a serious injury. In Egypt, families have reported repeated accidents and strange feelings during the late hours of the night. Could this all be coincidence? Or is it a warning from the unseen world, reinforced by centuries of Islamic knowledge? The Quran reminds us that unseen forces can affect our lives, especially when we are most vulnerable. At specific hours, our bodies and souls are in a delicate state, and ignoring this can invite misfortune. Tonight, we'll reveal what these hours are, why they are dangerous, and how you can protect yourself. But first, ask yourself, have you been unknowingly exposing yourself to risk every night? Pause this video for a moment. Do you usually go to the toilet at this hour? Think carefully, then comment below. If you've ever experienced sudden misfortune after a late night trip to the bathroom, type yes in the comments. Tag a friend who wakes up at night without thinking. They need to hear this warning. The Islamic perspective. Islamic scholars have long warned that certain hours at night are particularly sensitive. Times when leaving your bed without caution can open the door to unseen dangers. The Quran emphasizes vigilance, protection, and maintaining spiritual and physical cleanliness at all times. Especially during the late hours of the night, scholars explain that these warnings are not just spiritual advice. They are practical guidance to protect us from harm when our bodies and souls are most vulnerable. In one Sahih Hadith, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that performing ablution before sleep and being mindful when waking at night can prevent harm from unseen forces. Scholars interpret this to mean that even mundane actions, like answering nature's call in the middle of the night, should be approached with care. This is not mere superstition. It is guidance rooted in both spirituality and practical safety. The Quran also reminds us repeatedly of the unseen world and the delicate balance between our physical and spiritual well-being. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:2 mentions that God's guidance protects the believers from harm, but it requires awareness and action. Nighttime is a period when humans are least alert, which is why certain actions can inadvertently invite misfortune. History and Islamic teachings are full of stories where people ignored these warnings and suffered consequences, both minor and severe. Even today, modern incidents echo these ancient warnings. People across the world report feeling uneasy, slipping, or encountering unexpected accidents when waking up at unusual hours. Scholars note that this aligns with Islamic teachings. Being alert, maintaining cleanliness, and avoiding unnecessary movements during spiritually sensitive times reduces risk. The combination of Quranic guidance and real-world evidence makes it clear. Night hours are not just a matter of superstition, but a real period when caution matters most. Have you ever felt unsafe or uneasy at night after waking up? Share your experience in the comments. Tag a friend who ignores these warnings. They might thank you later. Do you follow the Sunnah of ablution before sleep? Comment yes or no and see how many people are unaware of this protective practice. Real-life stories. Around the world, countless people are unknowingly experiencing the dangers Islamic scholars have warned about. In 2024, a man in Malaysia shared a terrifying story online. He woke up at exactly 3 a.m. to answer nature's call. Half asleep, he stepped into the bathroom and suddenly slipped, narrowly avoiding serious injury. Later, he discovered that multiple neighbors had reported similar accidents at exactly the same hour. Experts say that between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., the human body is at its most vulnerable, with weaker reflexes, lower alertness, and disrupted sleep cycles, making even simple actions risky. In Egypt, a family experienced repeated mishaps whenever someone woke up in the middle of the night. One night, a child woke to go to the bathroom and tripped over a rug, causing a minor but frightening injury. The family began observing their routines and realized that aligning sleep patterns and minimizing late-night movement prevented further incidents. They shared their story online, warning others that ignoring these natural rhythms could invite harm, physical, emotional, or even spiritual. Stories like these are not rare. In Indonesia, a woman reported feeling an overwhelming sense of fear every night around 2:30 a.m., even without a visible cause. She later learned that others in her area reported the same phenomenon, leading scholars to suggest that certain hours carry spiritual sensitivity. Many believers connect this with the Quranic teaching that humans are most vulnerable when unaware or negligent, and that caution is required during these periods. These modern incidents echo the warnings given centuries ago by Islamic scholars. Night hours are delicate, and seemingly harmless actions, like going to the toilet, may have consequences if done without care. Even online forums are full of stories. People waking at unusual hours, encountering accidents, strange sensations, or feelings of unease. Some report that ignoring these warnings repeatedly leads to repeated misfortune. From minor injuries to more serious events, scholars say this aligns with hadiths emphasizing vigilance, cleanliness, and care during nighttime. Especially the hours just before dawn. A real-life experience shows that these are not merely spiritual lessons. They are practical guidance for avoiding harm in daily life. Have you experienced a similar accident or strange feeling during these hours? Comment yes or no. Share your story in the comments to help others stay safe. Tag someone who wakes up late at night without thinking. They might thank you for this warning. If you've ever narrowly avoided an accident in the middle of the night, type yes below and see how many others have too. Quranic stories, lessons. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes the importance of timing, vigilance, and respecting the unseen world. One story that perfectly illustrates this is the life of Prophet Yusuf. Joseph, peace be upon him. From a young age, Yusuf faced danger and deception, but his alertness and adherence to God's guidance protected him from harm. Even in the most challenging circumstances, staying spiritually and mentally vigilant allowed him to avoid disasters that others fell into. Similarly, the Quran teaches that not all dangers are visible. In Surah Al-Hashr 59:18, we are reminded to be mindful of our actions and the unseen consequences that can affect our lives. Night time, especially the hours just before dawn, is considered spiritually delicate, a period when humans are most vulnerable, both physically and spiritually. Islamic scholars explain that combining rest with caution is not coincidental. It safeguards our body and soul from harm that we may not immediately perceive. Modern real-life incidents echo these ancient lessons. Accidents and strange sensations reported by people waking at night are not just coincidences. They reflect the Quranic principle that being heedless during vulnerable hours can lead to unforeseen consequences. Scholars suggest that actions such as performing ablution before sleep, keeping lights dim, and avoiding unnecessary movement at night align with this wisdom. These habits, rooted in the Sunnah and Quranic teachings, help maintain spiritual protection while also reducing physical risk. Furthermore, the Quran often pairs guidance with practical advice. Just as Yusuf remained alert and avoided harm by respecting God's signs, we too are encouraged to respect the natural order of night and day. By following these principles, believers can navigate both seen and unseen dangers. These lessons are especially relevant today, as modern life often disrupts natural sleep pattern and makes us more prone to accidents or spiritual unease during late night hours. Does this story remind you of an experience in your own life? Comment below. Hit the like button if you want more Islamic guidance on daily habits. Tag someone who wakes up at night without care. They need to hear these Quranic lessons. Have you practiced the Sunnah of ablution before sleep? Comment yes or no. Tips and protective measures. So, what can you do to protect yourself from the hidden dangers that Islamic teachings and modern experience warn us about? Scholars and health experts recommend several simple but powerful steps that combine spiritual guidance with practical safety. 1. Avoid unnecessary late-night trips to the toilet. If nature calls, try to plan your routine so you minimize waking during the most vulnerable hours, typically between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Experts explain that our reflexes and awareness are at their lowest during these hours, making slips, falls, or sudden accidents more likely. 2. Perform wudu, ablution, before sleep. This is not only a sunnah practice but also a spiritual shield. Performing ablution before bed purifies both body and soul, creating a protective layer against spiritual harm. Scholars say this simple act can reduce the risks that occur when the body and mind are vulnerable at night. 3. Keep lights dim and be mindful of your surroundings. Accidents often happen when we move in darkness while groggy. Using a soft nightlight or ensuring the path to the bathroom is clear can prevent injuries. Even small precautions, like removing rugs or obstacles, make a huge difference. 4. Align your sleep with natural night cycles. The body's natural circadian rhythm is designed to rest deeply during certain hours. Waking during these deep sleep phases not only increases physical risk, but also disrupts mental and spiritual balance. Adjusting your bedtime and wake-up times helps you avoid unnecessary trips and keeps you aligned with the wisdom of Islamic teachings. 5. Be alert and mindful when waking at night. If you must wake up, take a moment before stepping out of bed. Scholars emphasize that awareness, even for a short moment, protects both your body and soul from harm. Which tip do you already practice? Comment the number below. Tag someone who needs to see these tips. It could save them from harm. Do you perform wudu before sleep? Type yes or no in the comments. Share these tips with family and friends tonight. It might prevent an accident they didn't even see coming. Crazy ending. Call to action. The next time nature calls in the dead of night, remember what you've just learned. Around the world, countless people are still facing unseen dangers during the hours when most of us are least alert. Between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., simple actions, like getting up without caution, have led to sleeps, injuries, or moments of sheer fear that could have been avoided. This isn't superstition. It's real. It's happening right now. And it's backed by ancient wisdom and the Quran itself. Imagine waking up at night, unaware, only to feel a sudden chill, a sense of unease, or even face a small accident. Modern reports from Malaysia, Egypt, Indonesia, and beyond show that these dangers are not coincidences. They are signs that we must respect the natural order of night and day. Following the protective measures we've shared, performing wudu before sleep, keeping lights dim, moving carefully, and aligning your rest with natural sleep cycles, can make the difference between safety and unexpected harm. Remember, these warnings are a gift. Islamic teachings combined with real-life experiences show us that our bodies and souls are most vulnerable at specific hours. By being mindful tonight, you're not just protecting yourself. You're respecting centuries of wisdom, staying alert to the unseen, and avoiding the kinds of accidents and misfortunes that happen quietly when we least expect them. So tonight, when you wake, pause for a moment. Think. Act with care. Protect your body, your soul, and your loved ones. Don't ignore this warning. It could save you from harm in ways you might never even imagine. Comment "I'll be careful" if you promise to follow this advice tonight. Share this video with your family. They deserve this warning. Tag someone who wakes up at night without thinking. They need to read this. If you've ever experienced something strange at night, type yes in the comments and see how many others have too.